Hey guys, it's Jill. Hope you guys are all having an awesome day. Today I'm going to be showing you my world famous lasagna and how I make it. It comes together super easily and super quick, and you don't have to be afraid to make lasagna. The thing that takes the longest is the sauce. We will go into that. If you guys are not subscribed, I would love if you would subscribe. Click that notification bell. Please don't forget to like this video, share this video. This helps my channel out so much, and it is greatly, greatly appreciated. Also, if you make this recipe, don't forget to tag me on Instagram or Twitter. And also I wanted to see if you guys would be interested in me making another one of my special dishes that I make is fettuccine alfredo. So if you guys want to see that recipe, let me know. And I also was thinking about doing like a 30-minute challenge where I take a Rachel Ray video, because you know she does 30-minute meals, and see if it really takes just 30 minutes. So let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing that as well. I would just kind of take a recipe and follow along with her to really see if it's going to be 30 minutes or not. Also wanted to mention that this by no means is a diet meal. This is definitely a special occasion meal. So I don't want anyone being like, oh my gosh, there's so much cheese. You can adjust to your liking. We like a lot of cheese here. So yeah, that's why there's so much cheese. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into making this yummy, delicious, bomb lasagna. Okay, so I believe the thing that makes the sauce is, I feel like the thing that makes the lasagna is the sauce. And the only secret, this is literally the easiest secret ever, it's literally just to simmer your meat with your sauce for a really long time. Sometimes if I have time, I'll do it overnight. Sometimes like I'll do it all day, but the key to it basically is to do it all day. You want a very slow cooked taste to your sauce. And again, as you can see, I have this great value traditional pasta sauce. It does not have to be anything special or fancy. And I just have here 2¼ pounds of lean ground beef. And all I'm going to do is just take this pan right here. And it's super easy because I'm going to go ahead and brown the beef in this and then add my sauce, put a lid on it, and it's going to simmer all day long. So you see it's 9:42 right now a.m. and around 5 or so, maybe 6 is when I will assemble the lasagna. Okay, let's go ahead and put the beef in the thing. So I don't ever do onions, garlic, any of that stuff. If you want it in your ground beef or sauce, this would be the time to do it. Actually, I would probably brown the garlic and onions before I started browning the ground beef. But if that's what you want, you can totally add it. I never have. I find this to be super flavorful without it. But you could also, one thing I will do once this cooks up, actually I'll go ahead and do it now, is to add some garlic powder. And then of course some salt and pepper. So I just kind of sprinkle maybe half a teaspoon there. I don't have any measurements, by the way, for this. I literally just kind of eyeball everything, but I will kind of try to give you an estimate since this is a cleaning video. No, this is a cooking video. Okay, so once you have your meat browned, you want to go ahead and knock the heat back, because if you don't, then you're going to get a bubbly mess when you put your sauce in, and you don't want that. So yeah, the sauce will literally go everywhere. Like I said, this is a lean ground beef, so we have just a little tiny bit of extra grease in the bottom of the pan. I think it flavors the sauce nicely. So I personally don't drain this, but if you want to drain it, you can go ahead and do that at this time. If you have a fattier meat, definitely drain it, because you're still going to end up with some what's it called, oil up around your pot with the sauce. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is just, so I'm going to go ahead and add the sauce. This is just, like I said, great value traditional pasta sauce. It is a 66 ounce. And if you're like my mom and you have to get every single last bit, go ahead and add some water to your jar. Pop the lid back on. Give it a shake, shake, shake. And then pour it into your pan. That way you get every single last bit of sauce that you've purchased, that you spent your hard-earned money on. Okay, so now this is where we're at. I've got this on medium-low. Once it kind of starts to bubble just a little bit, I'm going to add it onto, I'm going to turn it down to low. Doesn't that just look delicious? You guys wait. When this baby is like around 6 o'clock, oh my gosh, it's gonna look so good. So yeah, wait for it to come up to a little boil and then knock the heat back to low, pop a lid on it, and literally just let it sit there for the entire day. I do want to mention that I said let it sit there for the entire day. If you're gonna cook it on the stove, you do need to stir it like every couple of hours so it doesn't stick and burn on the bottom. If you are cooking this in a crock pot, which you can totally do, I don't know if I mentioned that, but if you're cooking it in a crock pot, then you can just let it sit and you don't have to worry about it burning on the bottom. This is truly my opinion when it comes to my lasagna. I really feel it's in the sauce. I mean, obviously it's in the cheese and everything, but do not skimp on taking your time to really truly cook your sauce for a really long time. Like I said, the longer it cooks, the better it tastes. So yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the lasagna. Let me show you what the sauce looks like. This is what the sauce looks like. Doesn't it look delicious? See, so even with the lower fat meat, you're still gonna have like a little bit of extra oil on top. You can skim that if you want. I'm gonna go ahead and put my oven on 350 and I'm gonna move this into my sink. All right, so what you wanna do now is for every pound of ricotta cheese, which is 16 ounces, you want to add 1 egg. So this is a 32 ounce, so this is 2 pounds. So for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and put in half of the container. Like I said, I don't measure anything when it comes to, this is like pretty much the only recipe I don't measure for. I'm gonna go ahead and put in 1 egg and just a bunch of Parmesan cheese. I'd say probably about a cup, maybe half a cup to a cup of Parmesan cheese. And yes, this is my favorite. You can use the shredded Parmesan, fresh grated Parmesan, however you want to do it, but I actually really love this stuff, so that's what I'm gonna use. I'm just gonna take a little spatula. That's actually like half a cup that I just put in here. And I probably should have tested it, but I don't know. It's fine. I kind of just can eyeball it because I've made this so many times that I just know what the consistency looks like. But you definitely want to have a good bit of Parmesan cheese in there. You want to mix that egg in really well. Oh, that's a big old blob. So yeah, I say about a cup, 3/4 of a cup to a cup of Parmesan cheese. And that's the consistency. It almost kind of looks like a dough. So I'm gonna get the eggs out of here. These are the noodles that I use. I do not pre-cook my lasagna noodles at all. I have before in the past, and I don't even need to get the oven ready lasagna. You can just get the regular lasagna noodles and still same thing. You do not have to boil them previously, and it's just so much easier. So there's the lasagna noodles. I'm gonna get the mozzarella cheese. I got this ginormous bag. Like I said, this is not a diet recipe by any means because I like my lasagna to be very cheesy and very meaty. So yes, we're gonna go ahead and you start by layering. Start by layering some sauce onto the bottom of our 13 by 9 pan. So just kind of like a thin layer of it. Just kind of give it some thin on the bottom. So thin layer of sauce. You can see that, right? My kitchen's so small, it's so hard to film in here. Okay, then you want to go ahead and put your lasagna noodles on top of the sauce. And what I try to do is try to get it at least to one side, and then 3 goes across, and then I will just take this one. So that's what the first layer looks like. Then you want to take your ricotta cheese, Parmesan cheese mixture, and I just kind of like dump it on there. I usually kind of just dump like half of it, half of my bowl on there, because I'm only going to do 2 layers of ricotta. So I'm going to do that, and then you just spread it out on top of your lasagna noodles. Oh no. Okay, so like I said, just go to spreading. Get a little bit more so I can spread on here. And then you just want to take a handful of cheese, like a very generous handful, and then like a little half of a handful. Just make sure that it's covered in mozzarella. Then you want to take your sauce again and cover the cheese in sauce, your meat sauce. And you can go a little thicker with this side. So we've got a good bit of sauce. Of course, if we don't use up all the sauce, then it'll be good to freeze it, and it'll be good for some spaghetti, fettuccine, or gnocchi. My kids actually don't like gnocchi. I love gnocchi. Gnocchi, that's a hard pasta to pronounce. Okay, so just make sure that you do a pretty good layer of sauce in between. And then you just take your lasagna noodles and layer it on top of the sauce. You guys should smell my house right now. It smells so good. The only thing I will say about these noodles is that they don't get all the way in the corner, but that's okay. Like, I feel like when it cooks, it kind of like actually doesn't, you kind of don't really notice, and I'm just kind of breaking these. So I have a layer right there, and then I'm gonna take the rest of my ricotta mixture, put that on top. It's actually really easy to make lasagna, you guys. It really doesn't take that long, especially when you don't have to boil the noodles. I think when you have to boil the noodles, that's the most tedious part of making a lasagna. But I'm here to tell you, you do not have to boil, and it comes out perfect every single time. I usually put it in for 350 degrees between 45 minutes to an hour, and it cooks down to perfection. So yeah, we're gonna take another generous handful of mozzarella cheese and just spread that on top. So go ahead and put sauce on top of that. It actually seems like I'm gonna have like just the right amount of sauce. So I just kind of, oh no! Of course, this happens every time Jill uses pasta sauce. And of course, I'm wearing white. So you just kind of squish some more lasagna noodles on top. Put that in the corner. Squeeze these on the side. this is what it looks like. And then we're just gonna cover it in sauce and then put another layer of cheese. So this is going to be your top layer pretty much. And this pan is heavy. Like I said, by no means is this anywhere near like a health diet meal by any stretch of the imagination. Because this is the top, you want to kind of get it really coated well so you don't really see much pasta. And I only have one and like a third of the lasagna noodles left. We are at the very, very, very tippy top. And you go in with your last handful, like I said, very generous handfuls of mozzarella cheese. If you want, you can totally, like if you aren't a lover of cheese, you can totally go a little lighter on the cheese. My family loves cheese. So this is like a 2-pound bag and I've almost used all of it. Like, we love us some cheese. I will then go on top of the on top of the mozzarella cheese with some Parmesan cheese. Just kind of sprinkle it over. Okay, so this is what your lasagna is going to look like. Like I said, it's going to go in the oven for 45 minutes to an hour. And I always put it on a baking sheet because it will bubble over. So let's go ahead and do that. Put it in the oven and I will show you guys what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so I thought I had a video of what the lasagna looked like before I cut it up, and I know that I did it. It just must not have been filming, so I apologize for that, but that's what it looked like from far. I'm sorry it wasn't like above, but you kind of get the gist. Lasagna really doesn't look all that pretty anyways, and I know that's what I was saying in the video when it's cooked, but it sure is delicious. Okay, so this is it plated up, and I just have some salad on the side with the garlic bread like I showed you guys earlier. So yeah, that is my delicious, famous lasagna recipe. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you do make this, make sure you tag me because this stuff is delicious. And like I said, very rich. You don't need a whole lot, so a full pan is going to feed an army, like literally. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna go finish this, or I'm gonna go enjoy this, and I hope that you guys make this. Let me know if you do, and I will see you guys in the next one.